So discussing photography session requirements. Now this is quite a big one because we ended up developing a system where the phone was a very important part of this pre-shoot consultation process. And for studio and time efficiency really, you need to make sure that they've turned up to your shoot in the way that you expect them, i.e. Mentally prepared and in good moods, and also dressed really, really appropriately, because what they're wearing is one of the things that can really wreck a shoot. If they're in disparate colours or strong patterns, if three of them are in black and one's in white, we all know, because we're visually literate, that that's a little bit of a ruiner for the qualitative result that you should otherwise be trying to chase. And they might even look at that end photograph where they're all looking like licorice all sorts, and there's a little disharmony there, but they don't know what it is, but we do. And so like I'm very strong on that. Make sure that the attire that they have is appropriate to the shoot. So this is where all this is reinforced and hammered home, if you like. This is where we employed a backup tool, and especially if you're a solo operator. And when we had our diary system, it was dovetailed with a technique that we employed in our studio, which I thought was really clever, and I haven't seen too many studios do it. And this is where we had PDFs, where they PDF whatever situation they're at with the diary. We had a PDF that would back up that particular point. So there's a few different situations. So their shoot, their viewing, it might be an outside shoot, it might be a studio shoot, it might be a shoot in their home. And so we automatically sent them my diary system, our CRN system, and a lot of the systems that you can purchase today to run your studio. And at this point, I'm assuming really that you do have a computerized diary system. If you don't, please get yourself one. They might cost a little bit of money, and often not that much really, but remember, love of yourself. They're like another staff member. These systems are like another person that's just keeping all this information for you. You're not having to run around with a looking into your iPhone or what's going on. This is what runs your life. And so we had a backup system here, which were PDFs. So I'm going to show you a couple of these right now, just to give you an idea. And we're going to provide you guys with templates for these that you are welcome to download yourself. And let me say to you that these are incredibly effective tools. And I actually changed a photographer's life in Melbourne a month or so ago, where I explained everything that I'm explaining to you guys today. And he took away the hard copies of what we did. We were very generous, as I'm being now. Remember, I'm sharing everything with you guys. So he went away and had the idea of the PDFs, which I'm showing you as we speak. And each of these had a different title. So one's, as I said, for the sittings of different types. So this one is for just a generic portrait sitting one. This one here was whether it was on location. So there's some aspects in the dialogue there that was about location. This one here is one that was relative to the portrait session being in their own home. And we had a variety of these. There's one about viewings as well. And so you imagine when they open up their computer that one of these beautiful pre-produced pieces of equipment, if you like, a tool for communication between us all, popped up. It's very classy, it's very professional, but it's also extremely helpful to us. Why? Because it reinforces exactly what's already been told to them on the phone. So think about this. So they haven't even turned up yet, but they've had two situations where there is a pre-consultation going on, because Sarah would tell them, I trained my receptionist exactly what I wanted her to say about the clothing, because the clothing was very important to me. All the rest of it is up to me, but the clothing I had no influence over, other than asking them what I wanted them to come in. So Sarah would talk to them on the phone about it, but we all know that there's a lot of information that's being transferred on the phone in a conversation between us like that, and they may not remember everything. So these PDFs were a fantastic way for them to have it reinforced to them, and often they would come in and show it on the phone. They'd even screenshot their laptops or whatever with this PDF and used it as a reminder. And in some instances, depending on where you guys are operating from, I have a country sort of studio just out of the city. We even had reinforced again where we were, so that when they were coming to us, they could, sure, everyone's got Google Maps and what have you, but this is just another lovely little touch that helped them find where we were. And so, all the stationery that you use is important in your business, because they're like almost other yous, if you like. And so it was really a really clever way for us to move on. And one of the other things that we did too is that when we made appointments, you should have an appointment card, and it has a little bit of information about where you are, maybe a photograph of your studio, so that when they're driving towards your studio, and this is for people who come to you before a pre-shoot consultation. So it just reminds them where you are. There's a photograph of my studio, a map. There's even written instructions of how to get there. There's a little bit about who we are and what we are, and then there's their appointment time. And it's a lovely little piece of production, and it's classy, and it just once again reverberates that whole perceiving the value of what you do. So there's a couple of little pieces there. We've got these available as downloads. What I was saying about my friend who became my friend in Melbourne, when we helped his business and turned it around, that we gave him all these ideas, but he had to go back home and get his designer to reproduce all that sort of stuff. So we're not going to make it that hard for you guys. Why reinvent the wheel? We're going to provide these as downloads for you that you can just, the templates there, even keep all my dialogue if you like, change it up if you want to, it's up to you. But in the downloads, you'll be able to put in your own photograph and just use it in whichever way, your own map, and there's the dialogue, or you can just use them, change them, just use them as an example to do your own thing. If you're a creative person and want to do your own thing, you're welcome to do that. So it's all part of this pre-shoot consultation, very important.